Please welcome back to the stage our scholar-in-residence, Mijal Biton.
We are about to conclude this amazing conference, and I want to prepare us for the world outside. Yesterday, I spoke about the remarkable journey that we are all in, and how commitment to Jewish peoplehood, to mishpacha, is required for this journey. Today, I want to share one characteristic that Jewish tradition tells us is critical, not only to survive, but to thrive on this journey. Courage. In the last few decades, Jews have enjoyed unprecedented comfort, security, and acceptance in liberal democracy. In broad terms, after the Holocaust, we can say that we Jews got a nice long break from Jewish history, from the kind of anti-Semitism that characterized the Jewish experience. And so, many of us forgot. We forgot that for our ancestors to be a Jew required understanding that our existence in this world would be a lonely one, that it might be uncomfortable or unsafe, that it would ask us to be different, to stand apart, to be unpopular. For millennia, Jews who came before us stood with their heads high, facing hate, because they knew their Judaism was precious and extraordinary. They knew they held a diamond in their hand, one they were meant to protect, to treasure, and to pass on to their children at all costs. With the blessings, opportunities, and success of the last few decades, we forgot how hard it has been for most of history to be a Jew. But as Barry mentioned, history is back. Jewish history is back, and it asks us to find new courage. Thankfully, we have examples in our tradition that help us with this. We've heard so much at this conference about Abraham, and in that journey of Abraham and Sarah, they were asked to stand apart. The Talmud says Abraham was known as Avraham Ivri, Abraham the Hebrew, because the word Ivri comes from me'ever, on the other side. The entire world stood on one side worshiping idols, and Abraham and Sarah stood apart on the other side. That took great courage. In another example, we can look at Moses, who grew up as a prince in Pharaoh's palace, surrounded by wealth, by stature, by luxury. He could have stayed there. But one day, he saw an Egyptian strike a Hebrew slave, and Moses understood at that moment that to be good requires the courage to stand up to evil. We don't need to go all the way back to the Bible to find examples of Jewish courage. It was 1948, in front of a room just like this one, at the General Assembly gathering of the Council of Jewish Federations at the Hilton in Chicago. Golda Meir had come, representing the Jewish Agency. She had come to raise funds so that Jews in pre-state Israel could defend themselves against the onslaught of armies ready to destroy them. Golda was nervous. There were no guarantees that she would succeed, and she knew that the lives of Jews in pre-state Israel were on the line. With powerful words, she turned to her audience, and she reminded them of the young boys and girls bearing the burden of having to protect their people. she said they were going to, quote, fight to the very end. If we have arms, we'll fight with those. And if not, we will fight with stones in our hands. Golda's words tapped into a sense of Jewish destiny, of responsibility for each other. They tapped into a pragmatic acknowledgement that if we do not fight for our own existence, even when the fight is lonely or unpopular, then that is the end of the Jewish story. American Jewish leaders that day were inspired by her, and they contributed in unprecedented amounts. They helped that day found the State of Israel, and they changed history. I want to end with a blessing. As we look to the days ahead, may we have the courage to stand up for truth even when we stand apart. May we have the courage to know our values and to stake everything to defend them. May we meet whatever obstacles come our way in this remarkable journey of Jewish peoplehood with faith, with courage, with love for our mishpacha here in Israel and around the world. As God told Abraham, Al tira, be fearless. Thank you. Am Yisrael.